Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is so good to see you. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Little Shakira for us. Hips don't lie, baby. Come on. Cameras on, hips shaking. It's the way we start Cinco de Mayo in my house. I don't know about you. All righty. So a couple of quick things for you before we dive into our video, because I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that in the state of Connecticut now, there are now about 50 or 60 opportunities for you to just walk in. If you desire a COVID vaccine, you now have walk-in opportunities to do that, including the Costco in Brookfield and the Costco in Norwalk, a whole bunch of places in between. So no more trying to find an appointment. If that is your desire, go ahead and check that out, because they are open pretty much all day. And to that, I wanted to honor opportunities to get vaccinations with our video this morning. Check it out. All righty. Moving right along. I could see by the look on some of your faces that was not what you were expecting. We like to keep you on your toes on our 9 a.m. Zooms. Little pound cake for everybody. Hey, speaking of keeping us on our toes, where's my good friend Kristen? I think Kristen from Guaranteed Rate's going to chat with us this morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, everybody. I am good. That was really funny. I love that. How's everybody doing? Good today? It's a kind of dreary day out. Hopefully the sun will come out one of these days. So quickly, just wanted to talk one little point about something that I've experienced in the past and still experience today is people giving me pushback about credit being pulled. They kind of, sometimes people worry about the credit being pulled with mortgage and having it affect their score and not wanting to have it done. And then, essentially I can't send out a pre-approval without it. So one thing that you can tell your clients, just to sort of put their mind at ease, that pulling it for mortgage is a low impact on the score. Number one. The higher impact things are like not paying your bills, maxing out credit cards, collections, that kind of thing. So those are the things that are really going to affect your score. Us pulling your score, pulling credit is going to impact a couple of points maybe. The other good thing is you can have your credits pulled by multiple mortgage companies within a window of time, 45 days. You can have it pulled by multiple mortgage companies and not have it affect your score because they want you to be able to go out and rate shop. So it's just one of those things you can give your clients sort of peace of mind that number one, it's not going to drop your score 40 points. So you'll be below qualifying. If you are low credit, that may be another issue. And you can have it pulled by multiple mortgage companies without really worrying about it. So just something that you can share, pass along to clients if they do have, that kind of a fear.
Excellent, excellent. Kristen, if I'm not mistaken, you're doing a 30 or 40 minute session on credit in a week or two. Is that right?
I am. Yeah, that was my little tidbit to start off to get you guys interested. Yeah, I'm going to do like top 10 things people should know about credit. I think it's important because, like I said, people are fearful of it. And I think it's something that we can sort of enlighten them on so that they can get a pre-approval and not have to worry.
Perfection. So we'll watch for that as the May calendar completes itself and is released, but I do believe that's in a week or two. So do watch for that. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. We appreciate you as always. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. You guys too.
Anybody has any questions regarding credit and or mortgage, please do reach out to Kristen today. She's available all day and all week to assist you. All right, a couple of other quick announcements before we get to our exciting Wednesday morning cash pull and then our topic for the morning, the higher standard. And so those announcements are as follows. Ignite continues tonight at 4 and tomorrow at 4. In case you were wondering where we're at in Ignite, we are in our seller unit. And so we will be talking and demonstrating pre-listing packages as well as the listing consultation, including a full-blown pricing conversation. That'll be tonight into tomorrow. So 4 to 6 each night. Do join us in this Zoom room if you need a refresher on listing consults and or pricing, because we'd love to have you. This Thursday at 1 o'clock, Get Savvy with Short Sales. Our very own Bogdan Stefanide will be facilitating with a partner of his a conversation around short sales. So if you are interested in learning more about short sales on the list side or short sales on the buy side, do join us 1 o'clock on Thursday. And then Friday, I'll be back at 1 o'clock with a discussion on making money utilizing the DISC, the DISC, which is behavioral assessments. So do join us for our trainings the rest of the week. We're excited to see you. That being said, I think we are ready for our cash pull extravaganza. Ooh, baby. So as you know, every Wednesday morning we pull names out of a hat, or I should say names off of a wheel. The wheel of names. I don't know about you, but I live for the wheel of names on Wednesday morning. So we have 2 opportunities to pull. The first is submissions to our leverage services. This past week, we want to just say thank you to Brian Snyder, Marcel Sahosi, Robbie Voza, Jane Lee Lade, and Jen Henry, all with submissions into the new KW Concierge services. And I realized that week number 1, we only had 3 that week. So we actually pushed them till the following week, and I didn't add them in. And those were Brian Snyder again, Dawn Grabover, and Linda Dunsmore. However, as you know, we need a minimum of 10 each week to be able to pull for that crisp, cool $100, which means today we don't quite have enough, because if we add the 3 to the 5, we still only have 8. So what I would encourage you to do is dive in and get those submissions going so we can keep pulling for those $100 bills. We will roll those 8 folks till next week. So we need at least 2 more of you. We'd love to see a whole bunch more. One of the things that we decided yesterday that I will announce today is one-on-ones for concierge services. So if you are struggling with figuring out how to use that, or you just want someone to kind of hold your hand and walk you through our concierge service submission process, just reach out to either Maria or Skylar at the front desk in either market center, and they will set you up with a one-on-one so that we can Zoom together and kind of walk you through that first submission process. Once you do it once, you'll see how simple it is, and then you'll be able to just go. But we do want to make sure that you have that opportunity. So concierge one-on-ones, if that's something that makes sense for you to do today, tomorrow, Friday, just reach out to the staff and we will set you up. So that said, we thank all those submissions, and we move on to our insurance cash pull, and that is for any referrals into our insurance joint venture in the last week. Last week we had 16 new referrals into that insurance partner. So a really great week for referrals, which means you're selling a whole bunch of houses, which is awesome. We want to say thank you to Kim and Mike Tromba for 3 different submissions to insurance. Marvin Benenson with 2, Olena Samadelko with 2, Marie Barker, Mary Russo, Randy Lynch, the Auslander Kassendorf Group, Fiona Porter, Eric Van de Winkle, Gio Kroom, Alex Capizzoli, and Chris DiBiase, all with a submission each. So with that, since we hit our 10 minimum, we now bring you to our wheel of names, and let's spin and see what happens this morning. Whole bunch of people on edge, anxious to know what might befall them. Will they get the 100? Will they not get the 100? Oh my goodness, the tension is almost palpable. Here's our wheel of names. Here's our spectacular contestants for the week. We thank each and every one of you for utilizing that service, and your clients thank you for saving them some money. If we're ready, let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, bam! And our winner this week looks to be Marvin Benenson. Congratulations, Marvin. We love that you are a winner. We love that you're using that service. Thank you so much. And we will get you that cool, crisp $100 bill later today. Congratulations to Marvin. All right, guys. So you know what it takes to kind of be a part of that every Wednesday morning. My thought would be that what if every single person on this Zoom call was on the wheel of names for one thing or the other or both next week? Let's set that as a target. 104 people on each wheel of names, so that you throw your hat in the ring for that $100. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, guys. So with our main topic today, I wanted to just spend a few minutes talking a little bit about something that I think is really kind of crazy important. And that is the standard that we hold ourselves to, right? I've noticed of late a higher than normal level of drama and contentiousness, right, among real estate agents, both with their own clients, with each other, sometimes among our own family members. And I understand that a lot of that is related to the market at present, right? A lot of that is related to how fast things are moving. A lot of that is related to frustration about getting offers accepted and things like that. We've had a bunch of classes recently, right, on minimizing this issue as much as possible with your buyers and minimizing it with your sellers. What I want to spend a little time on this morning, however, is minimizing these issues and giving you some strategies around reducing tensions among agents, peer-to-peer. And so because I know you like lists, I made you a list. This is a top 6 list, right? Or a top 5 with a bonus, however you want to look at it. Let's go top 5 with a bonus. So top 5 with a bonus is number 1, focus objectively on the end result and don't get distracted by emotions. Focus objectively on the end result and don't get distracted by emotions. Look, is it real that sometimes people say things that are either not accurate or untrue or rude or uncalled for? People oftentimes live in emotion, right? And so when those kinds of things are said to you or at you, what if you just decided to say, so what? What if you decided to hold yourself to a higher standard? What if you trained yourself to ignore the irrelevant? I would underline that phrase, ignore the irrelevant. Oftentimes stuff comes at us and there's all this stuff. And inside of all that stuff, there's one line or one sentence or one concept that is actually relevant to you getting where you want to go, right? If the idea is to get the offer accepted, well, what's the difference if there's all this drama around something else when the real focus is on how do we get the parties together on a closing date, right? So ignore the irrelevant pieces that come at you. Too many of you think that every word spoken to you or every question asked requires an answer. That is simply untrue. You have to learn how to weed through all of that and only answer and address the relevant pieces that accomplish the goal. Keep your eye on the prize. Where are you trying to get? Don't get distracted by emotions. And so here's a strategy I think that helps in that scenario. Ask questions. Ask questions like, hey, how can I help us get this resolved? If there's emotion and someone's hair is on fire, what if you just stayed focused and asked that question? How can I help us get this resolved? That might move things forward. Number 2, some of you are going to hate this one. Number 2, use phrases like, I understand. I'm sorry. I hear you. For some of you, those 3 phrases are really tough to push past your lips. I get it, right? You have to train yourself. Some people are far too focused on fault and blame to be able to use those phrases effectively, right? Remember that finding fault and blame is all about ego. It's not about resolution. Fault and blame is about ego, not about resolution. You want to stay focused on resolution. If you struggle with saying I'm sorry because you feel like, well, I didn't do anything, so why should I say I'm sorry? Well, turn it into something different. Be sorry that someone feels that way. Be sorry that we're in this scenario together. Be sorry this wasn't going more smoothly, right? There are lots of ways to say I'm sorry, to say I understand, to say I hear you, to help move things forward, even if you're struggling with those words, right? They're just a tool. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Utilize those disarming phrases, and they'll come out far easier when you choose not to have to be right. Which brings us to number 3. Remember, it is always better to be kind than be right. It is always better to be kind than right. That is always a choice that you have to make. I have witnessed rounds of back and forth and back between agents who are just trying to schedule a simple inspection or schedule an appraisal where the swiping that goes on back and forth to each other, I just don't understand it. And it escalates things to a point of getting further away from resolution, right? Hold yourself to a higher standard. Just let the other person be right. Who cares if it gets you to the end result, right? Put your own ego aside. Stop standing firm on principles. Oh my goodness. Principles will be the death of you. And hear that from where I mean it, right? Stop standing firm on you're attacking my integrity. You're attacking my reputation. Oh my goodness, no one's attacking your integrity. Stop being so dramatic. People are just emotional. Understand that, right? All of that, when you get all worked up about defending your integrity, that's ego again talking. Step back from that. Concede right to the other side and get the issue resolved. In the long run, you win anyway. Number 4, use the phrase, you know, the last time that happened, here's how we resolved it. How does that sound to you? So use the phrase, you know, the last time this happened, here's how we resolved it. How does that sound to you? This enables you to make suggestions to move forward without someone else feeling like you're telling them what to do, or you feel like you're superior. You make suggestions from a place of contribution instead of forcing your opinion or your way of doing something on somebody. Right? You can also ask things like, so I'm curious, have you ever run into this before? Even if you have, and you know what the simple solution is, ask the other side, hey, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? What suggestions do you have to help us resolve this? Involve that other person, get them talking. Because when you ask their opinion, now they start to feel heard, and those disarming techniques lower the emotions. I would encourage you to ask for their opinion, their solution before you offer yours. Right? It helps move things forward faster. Number 5, talk, don't type. Talk, don't type. Guys, I understand that it's far easier to just use your thumbs to answer somebody. I also understand how much the written word is misinterpreted. I also understand, I mean, in my own house, right? You guys get texts from me, you get texts from Steve. Steve's texts are short and to the point. My texts are like novels, right? And so, we're just different people and we communicate differently. And so sometimes if you're over explaining, people feel like you're preaching to them. Or the flip side is, if you are short and you type in bursts, people can feel like you're short with them. It's all about interpretation. If you just pick up the phone and have a face-to-face, phone-to-phone conversation, you eliminate all of that misunderstanding or room for misinterpretation. Here's the other thing I've recognized. It is far too simple to be way more aggressive if you're not phone to phone or face to face. People will say things to you via email or text that they would never say if they were on the phone to you or looking in your eyeballs. So diffuse the situation before it even gets more intense by picking up the phone and having a conversation. I will tell you that what my strategy for handling this is when something comes at me via text or via email, I won't ignore it. I will answer it. And the answer is, thank you so much for your communication. Let's jump on a call. Here's a time I have to discuss it. Don't resist your urge to just respond, to react to what came to you. Take the time, take the breath, and react and respond later on, right? In a more appropriate fashion via having a phone conversation. You're far more powerful in person than you are on the screen. Trust me when I say that to you, and trust yourself that that is true for you. All right, here's your bonus. Your bonus is how does all this relate to each other? Right? The higher standard that I'm talking about is that when you belong to this organization, you owe an even higher level of respect and a higher standard of communication to each other than to everybody else on the outside. That doesn't mean that everybody else on the outside should get the worst of you and we get the best of you. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying we raise the standard for all level of communication. However, when we start talking about each other, part of what continues to set you apart from the rest of the industry is the respect and teamwork that you continually show to each other. That's not something that just happens. That's something that has been grown and developed over a long period of time. And we have to be certain that just because the market's nutsy out there, that we don't lose that we actually double down on that. And so what does that mean? It means always make the phone call to have clarity around whatever situation. Don't make assumptions about each other. Recognize that there is plenty of business for you and all of your colleagues out there. Recognize that sometimes asking the question, even if you don't really want to know the answer, is the right thing to do. Don't avoid making the phone call because you don't really want to know the answer. You don't really want to know that a colleague of yours who sold this person the house is expecting to get the listing and has already been there, just because you got a phone call on the outside saying, hey, why don't you head in as well? Ignorance does not help us in those scenarios. Just make the phone call. I'm going to make a phone call and say, hey, Debbie, I understand that you've been talking to so-and-so and I was talking to so-and-so. How do we push forward on that? Sometimes you get to step back. Sometimes you get to step forward. Sometimes you get to decide that we'll just share because that's what's in the best interest of the client, and that's what teams do. I understand that in this industry, we are all individual, independent contractors, and that sometimes we are our own competitors. That is not lost on me. However, as a part of this organization, we need to always remember that we hold ourselves to a higher standard when it comes to communication and respect for one another. Because the second we lose that, we lose the foundation that this organization is built on. So remember these tidbits. I hope that this was helpful to you this morning, just to kind of lower the volume, turn it down a little bit. Keep the hair not on fire, right? And if it starts to spark, just pat it out real quick. You have some strategies and techniques and things to remember to help you move forward instead of getting stuck in drama, instead of getting stuck in contentiousness. Use them to help you create more, and I promise you, it'll be a win for both you and the people around you, short-term and long-term. Guys, as always, it's my pleasure to spend time with you. Have an awesome day today. We'll see you later or tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I love you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.